the challenges. Why you need to learn about requirements process. You need to know how what are the types. You need to know how you can derive all the requirements during the analysis, and then you have to model them, drawing them. Yeah, so all that is very important if you want to overcome all, you want to face all these challenges. Yeah, because they are that considered as your preparation of facing all these challenges, because these are some of the serious challenge happen to all software engineers, yeah, especially the requirements engineer. Yeah, okay, challenge number one is about choosing the best practice. Okay, which is the best practice for us? Yeah, we need to choose the best way so that we can get the best requirements, we can get the right requirements at the end of the process, and then when we deliver them, present them inside models, and then put it them inside the documents, everything is well and good and great and looks good. Yeah, and it's correct as well. So we need to choose the best practice, and that is the challenge, because there are many different ways on how to do it. Okay, so in this course I'll guide you to choose or to use some ways. Yeah, something that I already designed for you. Yeah, so it depends whether you want to follow the same practice or you want to have another different practice. Up to you. Yeah, you can go and find and read about many other kind of practice. So my way is not the best one. I won't say it's the best one. There are many other that is good as well. So it's something that applicable, practical, something that you can do. Yeah, and at the end, it's not a guarantee that you get a good one, but if you actually follow the rules, follow the guideline, and avoid all those things that you should not do, inshallah you'll get a good result. Yeah, of the requirements. Yeah, and also a good result for this course, right? Okay, why we need to choose the best practice? One, if because you need to find something that you are comfortable with, that you can work on, something doesn't make you pressure or stress doing it. Yeah, but this also means, yeah, we can avoid many issues from happen. Okay, so if you actually has pick any good practice, so there are high possibility that you can avoid all of these issues. So let's take a look each of these issues, and hopefully you can understand the concept. Yeah? Okay, requirements issues. Yeah, things that related to requirements. Okay, misunderstood. So this is one of the issue that usually happen when you're eliciting something, the user saying something else, but you understand something else. So that can be dangerous, right? Uh, incomplete. You get some requirements, but the story is not complete. For example, they say they want a fast application process, but that's it. No other information. So it's considered as incomplete. We don't know about the quality, what other function will be involved during when they are doing the application. Yeah, so it's not complete. So you need to get more information. All right, incorrect. It's not that you misunderstood, but maybe it's because you misunderstood. You put in something and it is incorrect. Yeah, so be careful. Inadequate. Inadequate means it's not enough. Yeah, you give information, but it's not enough. It's almost like incomplete as well. But incomplete is, you can say the whole document is not complete as well, also can, right? But inadequate means the information is not sufficient. You have to get more. For example, the software has lots of functions. It requires, let's say 10 function at least, but you just find only 5 of them, and there's no much information about these 5 as well. So we can say it's inadequate. We need more information. Yeah, all right. Inconsistent. Inconsistent mean it's a problem where you cannot make sure that the information synchronous. Yeah, synchronous. You have to make sure everything consistent. For example, if you use the name of the stakeholder, you name it as ABC user, for example. Make sure when you regard some of these people again, you have to use the same name. Don't change it suddenly to the user or ABC123 user or software user. No, it has to be the same name. So that's part of the consistent, and there are many other. So when you're doing your assignment, I will always remind you about be consistent, be consistent. So during that practice, you will actually face these inconsistent problems, and I will make sure I will warn you, yeah, at that time. Okay, gold plated. Gold plated means it's something that not needed by the user. They didn't actually request for it, but you put it in because you think you want to make it prettier or looks more wonderful, something like that. Okay, but the user did not actually require that added things. Yeah, so it's called gold plated. So it's not recommended. Yeah, it's not recommended to do that. Why? Because not everyone will satisfy with the new not needed thing. Yeah, so make sure you do not include anything that's not needed, that were not requested by the user. Okay, dangerous all. So all is the term that is quite dangerous. Why? Because, for example, you say all functions will require the user to press this button, for example. Yeah, okay. But is it really all function, or is it there's one that does not need that activity action? So be careful with all. We don't use all. Yeah, we're not supposed to use all. Mention exactly which function that need that action. Okay, don't use all, because you might overlook there are things that not needed to do that action. Okay, so that's why we call all is actually dangerous. Don't use word all. Okay, scope creep. Scope creep means macam creepy crawlies. Scope creep means the scope of your application, the focus of your application has already gone somewhere else. For example, the user is asking you to do something like the ATM machine, but suddenly you add another function, or you are asking more question about something else, and suddenly the user become very excited, and they ask you to put in more, like this function also can be added. Oh, and I want this also, and want this also. So the scope started to creep away from the main focus. It might become a different application at the end. Yeah, or it's not going to be a good focus application. Yeah, the function is not focused, it's gone, I don't know. Yeah, so be careful with scope creep. Hazardous. Hazardous means what? Hazard lah. If someone use the application, your application, someone might die, for example. Yeah, or fatal cases, or someone injured. So maybe there's I don't know, many things can happen. So make sure that your requirement is not hazardous. I mean, what it does, yeah, what it recommend to do, make sure it's not hazardous. Undesirable. The requirement is not desirable. It's not what I can say. Your user doesn't like it. They hate it. Yeah, they don't want it. So be careful. Too subjective, too general. The statement, like you saw just now in the game, like the statement is firm and short. Don't be too subjective, too general, and it's like you want the designer to decide or assume by themselves. You cannot do that. Yeah, make sure the sentence has to be clear. Yeah, the meaning has to be clear. Misunderstood, again kita dah habis dah kan. Okay, so that is the challenge, and our challenge is to choose the best practice. And why? That are the reason. You want to avoid these issues, alright? Okay, challenge number 2, difficult stakeholders. Okay, stakeholders, most of them are actually people where we get our information from. Okay, so that's where the elicitation process happening kan. And so the stakeholders are the people that we go to, yeah, to get the information. Okay, but the challenge is there are many kind of stakeholders that we might find. Yeah, so there can be like IC hostile person, yeah, who keep on, I don't know, they don't want to cooperate, they actually get angry to you without any reason, or they don't want to meet you. Yeah, quiet person, they're just too shy to say anything. Yeah, they didn't want to answer your question well because they don't know what to say. Too friendly, asking you to go for dinner. Yeah, this happened to your seniors. Yeah, there are a bunch of the girls. Yeah, there's group of girls, so they went to see someone who handled the go-kart at Tanjung Malim, I think. Yeah, so I don't know whether this is the owner or the person that work at the go-kart place, but that person said, if you want to ask me, you want to have interview with me, let me take you to the dinner first. Kan? So it sounds not okay. Yeah, they seems too friendly, but something bad can happen, right? So be careful. There are many meaning of friendly as well, but I think you know what it means. Okay, talking too much. Okay, you ask one question, they give you lots of answer, the long answer, and sometimes they talk about their cat, their houses as well. Yeah, so it's actually a challenge, yeah, to make sure that they can focus on our question. Keep missing in action. Very hard to meet these stakeholders, especially if the stakeholders is a very important person, like maybe he's actually the owner of the cafe that we want to work the project on. So we cannot find the owner. Why? We cannot contact him, or suddenly when we get to contact them, then or him, he keep on saying that I'm not available that day. Oh, sorry, I'm on holiday or something like that. So it's very hard to meet. Yeah, so or sometimes we already make appointment with that person, and suddenly when we arrive, they're not there. Yeah, that's what we consider as MIA. And then the last one, keep changing ideas. It's good if you can work with person who give cooperation, who give good ideas, but after 30 minutes, they call back and say, I changed my mind. I don't want that function. Can we include another one? Can we change it to this one? And then later, maybe next day, they call again. Oh, I think I want to change that again. Oh, come on. That's very difficult. Stakeholders, yeah. So the cartoon down there is about that. So you can go and read, because these are some of the example of people. Their reason they try to justify, yeah, why they don't want to cooperate something. So these are the examples. So you can read on your own. Yeah. Okay. Challenge number 3. Different stakeholders have different minds and different ways of thinking. Okay. So this is where this is about the stakeholders, but under category of the developers team. Yeah, this is under developers team. Just now is the user team, yeah, the user side. So this one, the stakeholders under developer team. It might mean your team member or your boss, yeah, or the designer team, etc., etc. So the problem with this challenge, yeah, this challenge is about where the people in our team, they also have different mind. Okay, so whenever the customer has explained something, okay, he explains something, but the project leader who lead the requirement, or maybe the requirement engineer, they think about something else. Okay, they maybe got different idea, or maybe they, I don't know, they get influenced by something. So when they hear the idea, the request from the customer, it sounds different, and they put in something different. Okay, so when it comes to the analyst, yeah, when it comes to analysts, the problem is they also have different mind. The challenge is how to make sure all these people that involved in the process, to follow and to have the same idea, and when they visualize they can see the same thing. So this picture is actually something very popular in software engineering field. Okay, so our field, the requirements part, is from the first, second until the third one. Okay, so this challenge can happen in requirements as well. So the picture actually shows the problems throughout the process from the beginning until we have completed the project, the develop and ship to the customer. Okay, but our part that will be challenge for us is the first, second and third. Okay, everything can be different. Yeah, so you have to make sure that you can focus on the project and make sure everyone has the same thing visualized in their mind. So that's where our responsibility to make sure that the information in our document is complete, yeah, is what not too general, yeah, it's very clear, very firm, it has good enough information, nothing missing, and everything is complete. So that's why we need that ability or skills, yeah, and you can practice them in our course, yeah. So we'll see whether you can do that. Okay, challenge number 4. So this is a reality, yeah, challenge out there, but not in our course. I mean, when you are learning it, but when you're doing it, you're working for a company, yeah. The challenge is not many companies appreciate requirement engineering, meaning that they say requirement is a very simple thing. You just have to get the requirements. That's it. How many weeks that you need? And we say, okay, can I have 2 months? No, requirement is something that you can that you can do quickly. I'll give you 3 weeks. Okay, so that is kind of example where companies did not appreciate the process. Yeah, so 3 weeks to get information depends on how big the project is. Yeah, so if it's a very big project, 3 weeks is not enough. 3 weeks is not enough because you have to find all the clients, kind of not all, but the stakeholders, the most important stakeholders, right? So there are times where you might not get to meet the client to get information. So how can you finish within the 3 weeks? Yeah. So it depends on the company. Some company do actually allocate some specific time to do the requirement process. Okay, so that is kind of good company, yeah. But there are company that just want you to develop. I just want to see the product as soon as possible. Yeah, usually they are profit based. So it depends. It depends which company that you will go for to work. Yeah. So this is not a challenge. This is an advice. Okay, you should become an ambassador like Jack. So we have a good student named Trent Jack. He just finished in 2020, yeah, last year. So he actually went for the industrial training at one of the company in Ampang, Kuala Lumpur, Selangor. So he get very good. The company actually praised him and asked him to work with the company. So what happened at that time? Usually when we send students to the industrial training places, we expect that the student learn a lot from the company, right? But this time it's like the other way around. The company learns a lot from Jack. Okay, so Jack actually showed them how to do the requirements. Yeah, they show how to do the schedule and then how to document them, how to do the diagram, everything. And he actually show his practice to the company, and they are really satisfied, and they actually want to implement the same way. That's what happened. So it's like Jack become our ambassador that tells he has learned this thing and oopsie from this course and some other course as well. But it's a good thing. It's a very good thing. So this is what we expect from you as well. You should become ambassador. So before you can be that ambassador, you have to make sure that you have good practice. You can do your assignment, and then you know what you're doing. you know what's best for you, then when you're out there for the industry training, hopefully you can be someone like Jack. Okay, so that's it for today. Bye bye. Assalamualaikum.